Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're going to be wading through that massive alphabet soup of IT governance frameworks to help you build out the ultimate organizational toolkit. Look, if trying to balance all these complex standards feels totally overwhelming to you, I promise you aren't alone. It's a lot, but we're going to unpack them together today and turn them into clear, actionable concepts.
So let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with the IT governance challenge. Then meet COBIT, the strategic mastermind, ISO 27001, the security fortress, NIST, the adaptable chameleon, SABSA, the architectural integrator, and wrap up by building your ultimate toolkit.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the IT Governance Challenge.
So here is the million-dollar question for every IT leader out there. How exactly do you balance your organization's ambitious, rapid growth goals without leaving the digital doors completely wide open to relentless cyber attacks? Really, it's the defining challenge of modern business, right? We absolutely need agility to grow, but we need ironclad control if we actually want to survive. Now, the foundational step here is understanding the critical difference between governance and security. Think of governance as the strategic alignment. It's the overarching vision ensuring that your IT resources are actually serving your business goals and staying compliant. Security, on the other hand, is purely tactical. That's your active, boots-on-the-ground operational safeguarding against breaches and attacks. The catch? You absolutely need both of them working in tandem. And that right there is exactly why relying on just a single framework rarely cuts it.
Moving on to Section 2, COBIT, the strategic mastermind.
Let's meet our first framework persona, COBIT. Created by ISAC back in 1996, you can think of COBIT as the strategic mastermind of your operations. It acts as this crucial bridge that connects business risk and control needs directly to technical issues. And the brilliant takeaway with COBIT is how it explicitly separates strategic governance from day-to-day management. Basically, it ensures that the people setting the big picture direction aren't the same exact people grading their own homework down in the trenches.
COBIT actually operates on 5 core processes that flow together beautifully. Starting right at the top, you have evaluate, direct, and monitor. That is pure governance. Then it shifts gears into management territory with align, plan, and organize, followed by build, acquire, and implement. Then deliver, service, and support. And finally, rounding it out, monitor, evaluate, and assess. Honestly, it covers the enterprise end-to-end and leaves no operational stone unturned. Ultimately, what COBIT guarantees is that your IT setup is a well-oiled machine working for the business strategy, not just sort of floating alongside it as some isolated project. It totally shifts the mindset away from just ticking compliance boxes to driving real, measurable value out of your technology investments. Okay, Section 3, ISO 27001, the security fortress.
If COBIT is your strategist, ISO 27001 is your heavily fortified, vigilant security guard. This is the absolute gold standard globally for defense. It's a framework dedicated entirely to establishing, implementing, and maintaining an information security management system, or ISMS. Now, keep in mind, this is not just a one-and-done checklist. No way. It is a living, breathing system designed to continuously harden your digital perimeter. ISO 27001 is built firmly on the famous CIA triad, protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data. To do that, it demands rigorous, ongoing risk assessments to expose any vulnerabilities. It forces proactive threat mitigations, and critically, this is a big one, it mandates highly detailed business continuity and disaster recovery plans. We all know the grim reality of the modern landscape. Breaches are largely inevitable. It really is not a matter of if, but when. Because of that, ISO 27001 heavily prioritizes readiness. It ensures your contingency measures are fully tested and ready to deploy at a moment's notice, minimizing the fallout when that worst-case scenario actually hits.
Which brings us to Section 4, NIST, the adaptable chameleon.
Introduced back in 2014 through a really cool collaboration between the U.S. government and the private sector, the NIST cybersecurity framework was a direct response to escalating global threats. Unlike strict, rigid compliance standards, NIST is our adaptable chameleon. It's highly customizable, providing a common language and a totally flexible, risk-based structure to mitigate cyber risks, regardless of your company's size or industry.
The entire NIST framework revolves around 5 core functions that elegantly map out the complete life cycle of a cyber incident. First, you identify your assets and risks. Then, you protect them with safeguards. Next, you detect anomalies. Then, respond to active incidents. And finally, recover your normal operations. It forms this incredibly intuitive, continuous loop.
You know, the best way to think about NIST is not as a rigid checklist, but rather as a set of versatile building blocks. You can take these functions and tailor them to your specific operational context and your own risk tolerance. This lets you prioritize your resources exactly where they're going to have the absolute maximum impact. Moving into Section 5, SABSA, the Architectural Integrator. Finally, let's introduce SABSA. SABSA takes a high-level, conceptual, top-down approach. It's essentially an architectural integrator, a methodology for building a business-driven enterprise security architecture from the ground up. It ensures that before you buy a single firewall or write a single security policy, the fundamental business requirements, the actual why behind the security, are fully, completely understood. What is really fascinating about SABSA is that it's an open standard methodology driven entirely by the business. It focuses not just on risk, but on opportunity. Like, how can security actually enable a business to do exciting new things? Through strict architectural layering and traceability, every single technical control you have can be traced directly back to a core business requirement. And the real magic happens when SABSA interacts with the other frameworks we've discussed. For instance, the SABSA Institute actually proposed integrating an overarching govern function directly into the existing NIST cybersecurity framework model. By sitting right across the top of NIST's 5 tactical functions, this govern layer brilliantly shows how SABSA acts as the glue that binds disparate concepts together, ensuring continuous oversight.
Let's move to our final section, Section 6, Building Your Ultimate Toolkit.
When we juxtapose these frameworks side by side, their distinct roles become so obvious. COBIT is providing that broad, holistic IT governance and business alignment, while NIST gives us the highly specific, tactical cybersecurity risk management and incident response on the ground. They absolutely don't compete with each other. Rather, they perfectly complement one another.
Bringing it all together, we've got a fantastic cheat sheet here. COBIT is the strategic mastermind ensuring business value end-to-end. ISO 27001 is the security fortress guaranteeing data protection and global compliance. NIST is the adaptable chameleon, providing a flexible cyber risk management lifecycle. And SABSA is the architectural integrator, layering your enterprise security based on business drivers.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The biggest mistake organizations make is treating these frameworks as an either-or choice. True enterprise security isn't about picking just one standard. It's about how masterfully you weave them together. By taking the strategy of COBIT, the rigor of ISO, the flexibility of NIST, and the architectural vision of SABSA, you literally build an integrated toolkit that makes your organization unstoppable. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you next time.